everyone. Welcome to today's exciting event, Spotting a Book, Show and Tell with Max and Hwee Keng Maeder. I'm Julia, a teen reading ambassador with the National Library Board.
And I'm Steph. I'm a librarian at the National Library Board.
We'd also like to extend our thanks to the Singapore Sailing Federation for making this program happen. The Singapore Sailing Federation aims to inspire Singapore through sailing. Since 1956, Singapore has regularly qualified for the Olympics, and we finally achieved our first medal in Paris 2024 through Maximilian Maeder. The Federation aims to continue raising champions for Singapore while embracing our environment and identity as islanders. Okay, I think now's the moment you've been waiting for. I'm incredibly honored to introduce our two very special guests, Max and Hwee Keng Maeder. Yes!
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay. So, let me give a short introduction about Max, okay? He is an Olympic bronze medalist in the sport of Formula Kite, and Max was introduced to kitefoiling by his father when he was 6, and by the age of 11, he set himself a target of being world champion. And the driven teenager did just that 5 years later in 2023 and more. He's currently the Asian, world, and European champion. Woo! Okay, now more about his mom. Hwee Keng Maeder sits on the board of Wakatobi Dive Resort, an ecotourism resort in Sulawesi, Indonesia, where Max grew up. She and her husband, Valentin Maeder, believe in raising children who are independent thinkers. Max is the oldest of her 3 children. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, maybe Max and Hwee Keng, you just want to say hi, tell us a bit about what you've been up to recently, a bit about your sport.
Yeah, of course. Well, I have been competing in the past couple of months. I finished up the rest of the season for the year, 4 competitions, I believe. Those went great. And then I rushed back to join my fellow Paralympic and Olympic athletes for the parliamentary motion, which was very cool to join for, and a bunch of other engagements as well. And Mama, what have you been doing, Mama?
I just came back from the competition with him. And what I do is when I go to competitions where Max is participating, I cook a lot. Yes, I cook like kilograms and kilograms of meat and eggs and rice. I even brought my own rice cooker to Italy this time, and we just came back. And if we are sleepy because it's very early in the morning in Europe now.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we've been doing.
I arrived in Italy, and then I saw my mom arriving, and she brought this big box. I said, "What's in the box?" And she said, "It's the rice cooker." Oh, of course, the rice cooker. And every day, she would load that rice cooker up so full, and it would be gone in a meal.
And if parents have an idea, I cook 6 cups of rice at every meal, all right? No, breakfast and dinner, because in between they are racing, so they don't eat. But 6 cups of rice. I have very hungry boys.
Yeah. And bring your own rice cooker. Don't trust. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just give a brief overview of what's going to happen today, okay? So we'll start with a book sharing where Max and Hwee Keng, you'll share a bit about the books that you've been reading, and you guys in the audience, you also have the chance to share what books you've been enjoying, what books you have been reading recently. Then we'll move to a Q&A. You can ask Max and Hwee Keng any questions you like about the sport, about balancing your studies and sailing.
Okay, so now, Max, I heard you read a lot. So why don't you share a bit about your love for books and maybe a recent favorite?
Well, I don't read a lot. I don't think that may be a misconception. I think the most I've ever paid attention to a book was okay. I've paid a lot of attention to certain books, but the most that I've read was the sailing rule book. Very dry. But I have enjoyed a couple of books over the years, and specifically, you have a lot of them here. My childhood was filled with Geronimo Stilton. I don't remember a lot of the books, but we had stacks and stacks of Geronimo Stilton books, and I still have memories of reading these. These are very fun, and I love this. It's just a fun read. It's just from what I remember. I mean, it's so long ago since I've read them, but still, I have very fond memories of reading Geronimo Stilton. And recently, actually, I've been reading a little more nonfiction, right? And seeing this book here, Sapiens, I find it really interesting. It's just my dad always talks about history, and it's always interesting to share. And I've learned a couple of things from this book, like how you had Homo sapiens, which is us, and then you had Homo neanderthalis, Homo erectus, like all living at the same time in the history of humans. Like that's the early page of the book, or how the lifestyle of the hunter-gatherers are, or even all the way to the first companies and how limited liability is a concept. Like all of this is in a book like this, which was a real interesting read. I need to continue. And early in the year, I read a very popular book called Atomic Habits. That changed the prospect of how my year went, because I became really productive, or at least I had an idea of, if I wanted to, how I could be productive if I wanted to, right? Not saying that I was all the time, but if I wanted to. And I mean, it's I think the most important thing for reading is that you pick something that you have an interest in, or that you want to read, or that you have a reason to do so. If you read for the sake of it, at least speaking from experience, it may be a little bit inconsistent. So pick something that you want to know, or want to learn about, or just want to read, and that makes it so much better to then really pick up the book on your own, and you may even set aside time for it. Huh? Yeah. Amma, what have you been reading?
I've been trying to improve my Chinese, so I'm reading a psychology book, actually a book by a Chinese psychologist called Li Meijing. She's on parenting and very, very good. And she's a criminal psychologist in Beijing. She's a top one. And I like to learn from her about how to raise children and things like that. I find that it suits me very well. And as I'm trying to catch up with his Mandarin now, I try to read Chinese book, but I'm very slow. Yeah. But otherwise, I read also a lot of nonfiction. And I read a book called The Moral Animal. Quite dry, thousands of pages, but very, very interesting, because it talks about who we are, how we are, the way we are, why we are the way we are. So it helps me, because then you do not get very emotional about certain things, or when you get emotional, you understand why you're emotional and what draws your heartstrings, and it's very good for me.
This is why I love the Geronimo Stilton books as well. I mean, before the age of 10, you see text like this, like the shiny text, like, oh, wait, let's see if I read this here. Ha ha ha! I see. You know nothing about cooking. A true cook like me knows that those are all summer recipes. In the winter, you make mice king meat into a stew. It's like, it just plays in your head, the voices. So, yeah, good books.
How many of y'all read Geronimo Stilton? Raise of hands. Okay, you have some.
More of you should try. It's really fun.
My name is Zia, and I have two books I like to read. Mm-hmm. So one is like from Rainbow Magic, Pearl the Cloud Fairy.
Rainbow Magic?
Pearl the Cloud Fairy.
Pearls of or a Cloud Fairy?
Pearl the Cloud Fairy.
Pearl the Cloud. Oh, Rainbow Magic, Pearl the Cloud Fairy. Okay, got it.
So like, there's this. They were trying to help a fairy, which is Pearl, and she had
Rainbow Magic Pearl.
No.
Just Pearl.
No.
But she can do rainbow magic.
No.
Oh, Rainbow Magic is the series. Okay, got it. And Pearl is the fairy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then
Wouldn't it be cool if she could do rainbow magic though? Wouldn't it be nice?
So she she controls the clouds with a cloud feather. And another series that I like is called Investigators. One of my favorite books to read is All Tied Up, Heist and Seek, Off the Hook, something like that.
Oh, very cool. Okay, have you ever heard the investigator joke before? What do you call a detective alligator?
A gator, an investigator.
An investigator. There you go.
Okay, I think we have.
What is this? Wait, I have some signs in the front here. I'm just gonna read it out. It says, "I know what book Schmaxley reads." Okay, for context, Schmaxley is my nickname. I don't know. My uncle gave it to me once, and it stuck. Here, this book right here. These two young ladies messaged me on Instagram and asked me what I was reading, and I took a picture of this book, which I was reading on the road, and it's called Economics in Minutes, and it's just each page is an economic concept, and I mean, I don't remember half of the things I read, but it was fun on the road, right? And yeah, so fun little sign here.
Hi, my name is Manika. I'm 13 years old. Hi.
Hello.
So I kind of like brought the first book of the series because I thought I should like start from the start of it. So
What series?
Oh, it's actually called a Skanda series. So like it's supposed to be unicorns, but it's not like the really fantasy kind of stuff because it's more realistic, and they introduced the idea of like wild unicorns and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like there's people on like the mainland and there's people on the island.
Yeah.
So people from the mainland will take tests, and also people who are from the island will take tests to see if they are fit to be a unicorn rider. So
Man, that's unicorn riders.
yeah, so it's a lot of unicorn stuff. And then there's like a whole map because the island is like a whole map of different things. So like there's different elements that people can go into when they're unicorn riders. So it's like you're bonded to the unicorn for life. And so there's spirit builders, which is like really like is the main part of the whole series because the main character has a spirit element, but everyone's against it because they feel like it can do a lot of evil. And there's also fire wielders, air wielders, earth wielders, and water wielders.
It's the classic 4 elements, right?
Yeah, classic 4 elements.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always love it when they add like one more element or completely uncommon elements because it's way more fun. But anyway, it sounds like a really like big and interesting
Yeah.
world building.
It's
especially since that she's holding a really thick book in her hand, by the way, and it's the first part. So how many parts are there?
There's supposed to be 5 books. So the fourth
5 parts.
So the fourth one just got released like on October 10th. I haven't got it yet. I read a bit of it. It's really nice. Yeah.
Well, okay. Wow. I mean, sounds like a very rich world. You must be very investing.
Thank you so
Perhaps we can
much.
pick it up sometime. More
Thank
fantasy.
you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Velda.
Velda. Hello, Velda. I'm Max. What book do you read?
Animal book.
Animal books. Oh. What's your favorite animal, Zelda?
Turtle.
Turtle. Wow. My favorite animal is an octopus. And do you know that Wakatobi, the animal that's the logo of our place, is a turtle?
Velda, we just had turtles laying eggs on our beach, and we have waiting for them to hatch.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Velda.
Thank you so much.
Round of applause. So cute.
Okay, my name is Susan. I'm maybe the same age as your mom, but it doesn't matter. We're forever young. So recently, I have this book. It's called Save the Climate, and it's a bit serious. But I find that this book is very concise. You know, sometimes you have bits of information here and there, but I found this book is for level 3 reader. But I'm so engrossed with all the terminology and the pictures that comes with it because I think the awareness of climate change is so real, right? I mean, while going green, it's so easy to say we're going green, but I think we have to really be aware that this topic is a big topic. It will take time to digest it. Even for my P5 kids, sometimes I use words like carbon footprint and she's a bit lost, but I think we're getting used to it.
The name of the book is The Climate,
Just
right?
Save the Climate with the polar
Save the
bear.
Climate.
Yeah.
Save the Climate. Sorry.
It's
And it's just all about climate change, right?
Yeah, and it's so concise. So I thought it's a good chance, it's a good platform today to also say that as adults, when we're dealing with young people, so other than this kind of topic, in my class, we talk about Olympics. So there was a whole season when she was watching badminton, And then we were talking about, it was like a few days before you raced, and I was like, you know this Singaporean? Yeah, Max, she knows. But we say, we don't get to see it because, it's the time, the difference, and sometimes it's out in the sea, we don't know what's happening. So like waiting anxiously, but I think the important thing is that moral support is very, important. So I think I made my way here also to show a kind of support and also to support the NLB activity. So
thank you for sharing.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
No, I mean, it's great that you have a really nice, concise book about save the climate, because it teaches you nice concepts, and it's all packaged very well. I mean, and it's very nice that you have two fulfilling things that you can do, because I do one very fulfilling thing, which is my sport, and I get to share with a lot of people, and you get to do it too. So it must be very nice.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Nasreen, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm also a volunteer with the library. I'm a teen reading ambassador.
Chloe, I'm also a teen reading ambassador with NLB.
Yeah, I wanted to share about a book that's actually translated from Japanese. It's called Lonely Castle in the Mirror.
Lonely Castle in the Mirror.
Yeah, so it's written by, the author's name is Mizuki Sujimura. And honestly, although I read it a while back, I wanted to talk about it because I'm not really moved by books or stuff, but this one, it actually left something on me, so I wanted to share. So I want you all to read it. It's fiction and it's sort of fantasy, which is not really my thing. So basically, it's the story of a girl who goes to school, but she doesn't quite feel like she fits in ever. So one day when she's at home, and she's recently been really bullied by a bunch of kids at her school, and this is set in Japan, so you all know. And she comes home to find the mirror in her house glowing. And she enters it, and she finds a bunch of people who are her age. And she starts to talk with them, and they all realize that they were all home from school, and they've also walked through the mirrors. So it's like another dimension, it seems. So basically, the gist of the story, to keep it short, is that they all talk with each other, and they find out how to work through their problems together. And they actually find out that they're from different years. So somebody's living in 1997, and somebody is in 2020.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah, and I really love the concept. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, I get to read it with an idea of what's coming now, at least.
Yeah, so I don't want to take up any more time, but please read it if you get the time, for adults, kids, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm glad I caught all that, because the wind keeps blowing in my ear when I go out kiting, and I firmly believe that I have damage and I'm hard of hearing because of it, because I keep gotta ask what. Thank you for sharing, Nazreen.
Hi, okay, I'm here to share about another book. It's called The Poppy War. So essentially,
the Poppy Walk.
The Poppy War, like the flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's another fantasy book, but instead this is set in ancient China, where there's magic and whatnot. So we meet the protagonist. Her name is Rin. So essentially, she's in an impoverished village in China where she receives no education and she's an orphan. So in order to get out of poverty, she actually has to study really hard to get into an exam. And then when she takes the exam, she can go to the top military school.
Right.
But essentially, she has no money. So she tries really, really hard. And, well, you know what she does to get a tutor? She bribes him with opium.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but, you know.
Wow.
She does what she's got to do.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a lot of grit in the woman.
Yeah, so she studies really hard. And in the end, she gets the top in her village. And she's able to go to war school.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, where she trains to be a top warrior. But there's
Sounds
a lot.
like a great story.
Yes, it is.
Wow,
it's
but
really
very
good.
interesting book recommendations. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. No, please.
Actually, the book I read recently is more related to motherhood.
I'll pass the mic on to my mom. Here we go.
Yeah, it's called The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly by Sun Mi Huang. Yeah, it's a very short story, but basically this chicken or this hen, she's only bred to just lay eggs for us to eat, not to be hatched into chicks. So she had this dream that she could have her own chick to groom, and to grow. So one day she found an egg that was left alone, and she decided to sit on it. It hatched, but it was actually a duck. But she actually really took care of it. It actually shows the love of a mother and what she would do to really protect the duck. And thankfully, you know, the duck realized that this mom of his, although they look different, really loved her with all that she could do, which is, I think, what mothers will do, like what you have been doing, bring this big rice cooker also for Max. I think it was a brilliant book because in the end, she did sacrifice because there's always this weasel that was trying very hard to eat the eggs or the injured or the young, you know, like the life cycle. So
Yeah, that's nice because that's my chicken. I didn't have a duck, but it's a very good one. I has much cheaper than the you know that this other duck. Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the book sharing. Thank you for sharing your books also.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
now-
Come on, one round of applause for everyone who shared their books.
Now let's move to the Q&A.
Okay.
We'll do this in a orderly fashion, okay? Raise your hand when I call upon you.
Okay, we have a very excited one already. Very quick.
How many world records did you break?
Oh my goodness. How many world records did I break? That's a great question. I didn't officially try for any world records. Neither actually do I hold the world record for speed. I don't. That's an old friend of ours, a senior of kitefoiling. His name is Nicolas Parlier, and I think he holds the world record for speed. But no, I don't know how many world records I hold because I never tried for any. So maybe that might be something for me to do.
Not
Thank
yet,
you.
not yet. Okay, do we have any questions? Can you raise your hand?
What is kitefoiling?
What is kitefoiling? Great question. You know, I talked to an uncle in a store and I tried to explain the whole thing to him. He gave a really great synopsis and it says, you know, boy got skateboard can fly. and I feel like that sums it up quite nicely. But it's, you stand on a board, you have a kite in the air, hence the name, kitefoiling. And underwater is a little airplane that you stand on and you balance on it. And with the wind pulling you from the kite, you stand on the little underwater airplane, you fly around the water and you go racing. That's kitefoiling as a sport.
Okay, we have one question from behind. You can stand up and...
Hi. Hi, Max. Hi, Hwee Keng.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi. So I actually have a question for Hwee Keng.
Okay, here we go. There's your mic.
Okay, so Hwee Keng, you know all these stories and reports about you being mother to 3 wonderful boys and then managing them and keeping them, you know, going in the correct direction. What about you? What do you do for yourself to keep
For
yourself
myself?
in a good state to be able to
I
mother
get
them?
challenged enough by the boys. So actually, I just manage now to do what Max has been competing for years. So that's what I do. Yeah, kitefoiling. That means,
Kitefoiling?
yeah, I started kitefoiling. So yeah, when you have 3 boys challenging you, you just try to live up to the challenges. There's not much you do afterwards.
I see. I got your message, how to overcome 3 boys, get on top of what they're doing.
When do you start kitefoiling?
I think kitefoiling specifically, I started at the age of 11. However, I did kite surfing without the little underwater airplane at the age of 6. But yeah, kitefoiling, 11, and I started racing around that same time as well. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Icon. I'm 13 years old.
Hello.
Hello. I wanted to know why you chose kitefoiling over like the other like more common sports like basketball and football. Like what made you go for kitefoiling?
That's a great question. I chose kitefoiling because I found it fun. Just like any other person chooses their sport because they like it. Everyone here has something they find very fun, and if you invest your time in it, the important thing was that I didn't choose it in a sense. I did it because I wanted to. Right? And then only after a while did I say, oh, yeah, I kind of chose this thing. But it's not a conscious decision to choose something. It's going with what you know you can invest in and what you know you like. And then after a while, oh, I've kind of chose this, right? You didn't think about the future too much. You just you started with, especially under the age of 15, you started with thinking about, oh, do I like this or not? And then you continued on and afterwards, only then do you see, oh yeah, I can make something out of this, right? Yeah.
Oh, hi. So my name is Brenda. This is my daughter Velda. So she's been e-foiling with me ever since she was in diapers at 1 year old.
Wow.
So one question for Mama Maeder, of course, is how do you let the people around you how do you tell them that this sport is dangerous, is what your son is passionate about, but people are just telling you it's too dangerous for him to do it, especially when he's the first to do something like that in Singapore?
Okay, I'm just going to tell you a story, okay? My little boy doesn't look like me, and I bring him to China, and they think I'm the nanny because he has light hair and I'm dark skin, dark hair. So I start to throw him in the air and catch him, right? He's less than a year old. So everyone is looking at me, and they said, oh, this is so dangerous. I say, it's okay, it's not my child if I drop it. Basically, if you want to do something that it's not common, it's not whatever, you have to feel confident, and the safety of the child is number one. Anyone that says anything else is up to them.
Of course, it's very important that you have safety in mind with anything you do. But just because there is a higher potential for safety doesn't mean you have to approach it the same way with something that isn't safe. So of course, you're going to pay less attention if you're walking along the road than if you're driving, right? So if you have a higher consideration for safety and pay more attention, right? It might be even safer than a sport like skateboarding because you pay less attention during skateboarding and you might fall and injure yourself. Whereas with kitefoiling or e-foiling, you pay more attention, you're careful, you prepare before and you talk about it afterwards, how to be more safe, right? And then you're even safer because you're careful and you're conscious. And that can lead to, first of all, very professional thinking, and second of all, even safer activities because you pay attention.
Hi, my name is JR. Actually, I have a question for the both of you because you obviously trained a lot to get to where you are. So at what stage and who realized first that this was going to be a champion?
It's a great question. I think the person that realized it earliest was it Papa? I think so. I think he had the most belief. At the time I was like, what do you mean? I'm somewhere in the middle of the fleet. I'm just stumbling around trying to figure it out. And I mean he said that I had the potential to, but I believe it was my father who first saw that. But we never really made a plan to have this be I could be really good in this. No, that was not it. He just said you could win an event. You could do well. But it wasn't about making it professional or coming to this level at all. We simply said this is a good way to learn things about life, right? You do a sport and you have fun at it, and you have to maybe go through challenges. You have to learn how to be independent. You have to learn how to take care of things because you don't treat your equipment well, it might not work well. So take care of things, responsibility, and learning that my parents saw was just as valuable as a proper education, and so that's why we continued it. It was just a bonus in the end that I did well in the sport.
We didn't have a King Richard plan. Yeah, I think we were very concerned. Like we just wanted him to stick to something and try to improve, make the little incremental improvements, put in the effort, have grit, perseverance, determination. I think there's a lot of values that goes into the sports together. It's a discipline that you can teach the kids a lot of values. That's why and he happens to then become the champion.
Just happens to be a champion. Just happens to be. Do we have any questions from the people in front?
I'm just curious to know what made you start on the homeschooling journey. Was it a decision that you wanted, right from the start? And also, how did you overcome, like the challenges of teenage rebellious? How did you overcome the stages? Because you have 3 boys, and I have a daughter who is around the same age also. She's also here. Her name is Tiffany. Because for me, I initially wanted to also start on a homeschooling journey, but I decided that I'll leave it to the government instead.
Outsourcing is, of course, the most popular choice. I didn't have a chance to outsource because of the cross-culture. So I didn't make a conscious decision to homeschool. I made a decision about what I wanted for my kid. And what I wanted for my kid was languages, English, Mandarin, and because we are cross-culture, German, specifically Swiss German, and mathematics. For me, it's a language. So during that time, I couldn't find a school that provided it. So we decided to, and because of our lifestyle, we just thought that we keep the kids close to us. And that's for us, for our selfish reasons, we want them with us. And that was the natural evolution. For this rebellious and everything, I think he didn't provide me many opportunities for that yet. So in a way, I'm very under-challenged. I'm not complaining about it, really. Yeah.
Provide if I want to.
No. I have another one who provides me this
Challenge
textbook
accepted.
teenager one. And that's why I'm reading the Chinese psychologists about. So I have this one and the textbook teenager one, yeah. I mean, everybody's got to find their way because you understand your child the best. You understand what works for them, what doesn't work. And at the end, I always tell every parent, have your goal, you know. If your goal is to have bonding, love and everything, then everything we do has to kind of support that goal, right? And when you have very clear goals, then it's very clear what you need to do.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, I think you have a fantastic bond with your son and you're very blessed to have that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Judy. I actually have two questions. The first question is from my daughter. She couldn't be here, she's training. She asked, what is or are your motivational speech before competition?
Motivational speeches before competition.
Yes, how do you like cycle
Please don't
yourself
crash, please
to
don't crash,
calm
please don't
or
crash, please don't
motivate?
I think for me, I love what I do, and anytime before training or competition, I am in some form of competing, right, with either my training partner or with the people out on the water, and for me, I don't occupy myself with trying to psych myself up. I think the most important thing is that you show up, right? That's 70% of the thing. If you're already there, like if you're in the gym, if you're in the gymnastics leotard and you're at the gym, that's it. That's 70% of the work done because getting there is the hardest part. And once you're there, you realize why you do it because you know, yeah, I really should actually do this exercise, or I really should go out. And less about motivation and more about just get yourself there and have the fun that you usually do. She chose rhythmic gymnastics for a reason, I assume, right? And I chose kitefoiling for a reason. And so every time I go back, I show up, and then it's fun, and then that works. I think the hardest part is coming there, showing up, and then it's fun for me.
What do you do when you have a bad day? I mean, you show up, you had a bad day. How do you make yourself continue? Because sometimes I see her coming back down.
Well, my mom can tell you from experience, there's nothing that you can do to me when I have a bad day to cheer me up. There's no such thing. I think the best thing for me is take a good, eat well, sleep well, right? Have a relaxing evening, and then in the next day, try again. Because my mother was so encouraging all the time, and I was saying, no matter what happened, if I failed, if I did well, I come back, she hugs me, she loves me, I get a kiss on the cheek, and then I get to try again, right?
I just asked him, what do you want to have tonight? What would you like to eat?
Rice.
Yes, and that's the thing. If you have a bad day, you don't have to solve it because it's good that you are a little bit frustrated. You come back the next day, you try again, you reflect, and you're better, and that in the end is healthy. You don't have to immediately be optimistic. It's okay to sulk a little bit as long as you're happy or motivated to try again because of it.
Okay, thank you. Then one more question is that it's actually from me. She'll be 16 when Singapore is doing the SEA Games. I think she has a good chance to be in the team. Yeah. But I'm also thinking that because in rhythmic gymnastics, the lifetime is quite short. So I'm thinking that should she actually stop school for a few years to do what she wants, to reach her goal, and then study again, because that would be O levels.
Okay, I had a kite foiler mom who asked me the same question because they peak quite young. And I think it's a choice of both, I mean, more her.
Yes.
And my view is that, this is a chance, the window of opportunity is really, really small. So what happens if she takes her O-level at 18? She defers her school by, let's say, 2 years, 4 years. What happens? So what if she graduates at 23, 26, 28? Does that really matter? Or even if she doesn't want, I don't know. I mean, there's questions.
To me, I think it doesn't matter because all the while she knows what she wants. So she wants to be a professional ballet dancer. She wants to achieve a goal in rhythmic. And I think the last Olympic, not the recent, the last Olympic when I think she's 11 now, so the last Olympic was when she's 9. She watched it and she says that's her goal.
I mean, look, one thing I want to say is that for me, I love the fact that I got to do the sport. And just in general, if you get the chance to do something that teaches you about yourself, that teaches you that if you put your heart to something, you can achieve it. If you try for something, you know how to improve. All the things that you learn, all the things that improve, right? That is a very valuable education in itself about responsibility, about grit, about determination, about improving, how to solve problems, how to try and get better.
Yes.
All of that is also a form of school, life school.
I totally agree, and I see that growth in her. So we also discussed, like, because of the ballet and the rhythmic gymnastics, so we know that rhythmic gymnastics is a short lifetime. So the focus will be at the earlier stage will be on rhythmic, and then probably finish at O-levels, focus on, because for rhythmic gymnastics to be able to qualify for SEA Games, that kind of age, their rules is at 16 years old above. Then usually in Singapore, I see that they are competing till about 19, 20 years old. So it's just that sort of like 4 years. So it's really, really short. So I'm really thinking of stop at O-level, go chase, and then after that, after O, be it she do a sports course or be it she pursue her dance. And the way things have changed now, the opportunities are there.
Exactly.
It's just that I'm still not sure if we should really do it. I mean, it's a passion.
From our side, we encourage the fact that there's a lot to learn in sports and that it can have a very positive impact from us. But ultimately, it's yours, and you know best.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on, one big round of applause, please. That was a wonderful line of questions.
2 more questions? Okay, I think we have time for 2 more questions. Anybody would like to ask a question?
Hi, I'm back again. I'm Chloe. Okay, so my first question is, what was the biggest challenge in your career and how do you overcome it?
I am not the right person to ask for challenges. I mean, I've been very fortunate. Nothing stands out. I've had the many days where I did not want to go for training, and that's very hard because you show up and you're like, do I really have to go out on the water, right? Or I've had competitions which didn't go so well. I've had times where I felt like, I can't perform at all. But I think the main thing is that I liked what I do. I had the time to invest in what I do, and I really thought a lot. Like I had a lot of time to think about not just train it, but like think about the sport and how to improve that. And I think I was simply occupied with very, how should I put this? Pragmatic things. Like I was only focused on tasks. Like, fix this, do that, improve this. I never really thought about, can I make it, or will it work? I've had the privilege to be able to say, look, I'll just focus on what I do, and just it's the same way how I don't get nervous. I think about what do I check, what do I prepare, and just really focus on tasks rather than the bigger picture. Yes, you have to zoom out sometimes and you have to look at it and plan it, but the more time you can spend really trying to improve things concretely, the less time you spend worrying, quote unquote, and the more time you get to see progress. If you look back and zoom out, you see, I really did improve because you spent so much time focusing on trying to get better.
Thank you. Another question is, what is your hobby?
I'm still trying to figure that one out. But I think chess can be considered my hobby, I guess. You know, play chess puzzles, play chess games, and it's only very recently that I started that. Otherwise, it's the very regular, you know, hang out with friends, hang out with family, watch YouTube videos and scroll TikTok, and it's also or Instagram, sorry, and really what I would call a hobby that works is chess. Yeah, I enjoy that.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, so we'll close the Q&A so that we have more time for the photos and autograph now. Okay, so if you're interested in sailing, if what Max and Hwee Keng has shared with you has inspired you, there are some courses that you might be interested in by the Singapore Sailing Federation. We have basic sailing courses for 18 and up, and then the Optimist Junior course is for ages 7 to 12. Okay, so if you're interested, you can scan the QR codes. I think some of them are seated there. You can go talk to them later or talk to Max also.
And if you've been inspired to read more from the recommendations around the room, here are some book recommendations to get you started. So for young readers, you can check out Sunday Skating by Andrew Rowe, a lively story of a boy who finds his footing through perseverance and the support of his friends. Fox Point's own Gemma Hopper by Bree Spangler is a heartwarming graphic novel about a baseball-obsessed 12-year-old trying to find her place in the sports world and her family. And lastly, you can dive into Sunshine by Jared Krzoska, a YA graphic novel about a teen who learns more about life at a unique camp. Also, don't forget that our library has a wealth of resources available, and here are some that you might find interesting. Discover Reads is the one-stop portal for resources for both children, parents, and also teachers. And Canopy Kids is a curated collection of streaming video content for children. And you can also explore a vast ebook collection with Libby and Overdrive. And finally, you can also find more e-resources at eresources.nlb.gov.sg.
Okay, so we have some oral history interviews that actually Hwee Keng and Max have done with the National Archives of Singapore. So NAS Archives Online, you can just search for Maeder, and actually Max's interview in Mandarin and Hwee Keng's interview in English is already up online. Okay, so yeah, you can watch the entire NAS oral history interview. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, let's everybody give yourself a round of applause first.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. This was very fun.
Thank you for the time. Okay, we really appreciate you coming here.